Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to stand and strike. I've wanted to stand and strike in all of my fights, but it's just so easy on the like when I get them to the ground. And I know that sounds really like cocky or something to say, but honestly, it's true. You know, I would take them down, and I would just really feel like nobody was able to move at that point. So the path, the easier path to victory.
All right, Casey. February 12th, you're back in action. UFC 271, Roxanne Modafferi. Did you know when you signed this fight that this is gonna be her retirement fight?
I didn't know when I signed the fight, but I did hear some rumors like a couple of weeks in, and then obviously she posted it herself. So, didn't really make a difference to me, but everyone kept telling me. So I was like, oh, maybe, maybe it's her last one, and I guess it is.
Yeah, but in MMA, it's a weird sport where people retire, but then 3 months later they unretire. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna unretire though. I mean, she is getting a little bit older, and she's had a lot of fights. She's been around forever. Anybody who watches MMA knows who Roxy is. She's been fighting since the start. So I think that maybe it's her time to go out, and it's good. It's sort of like a passing of the torch situation. I feel like the torch has already been passed, but this is just the showcase of that.
Validation, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
All right, let's jump back into your last fight against Antonina Shevchenko. Second round, ground and pound finish. Was there anything that you didn't like about that performance?
Yeah, I felt really distracted in the first round. I think that I've talked about it a couple of times now that fighting in the Apex isn't my favorite thing. Especially that time I looked out and saw like some of my friends in the crowd, and I was like, oh, like I can see my friends, and I got a little distracted. And then also felt really good when we first started the first round, but then obviously got stopped for an eye poke or something, and that kind of threw me off as well. So I just think I wasn't in a very good mental space. I'd also fought a lot of times in a very short period of time and had a few injuries going into that one. So it wasn't my best performance, but that's one thing that I know about myself is that I'll get in there and fight and find a way to win either way. So I'm not like super bummed out about it, but definitely not my best fight.
Your next fight is going to be in a packed arena, which you're probably very excited about. There probably won't be many distractions because the crowd is just going to be so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you dream about the whole time that you think like you're going to become a UFC fighter. You're going to fight in front of that crowd, hear everybody as you're walking out, have those nerves, have the sound of the crowd keeping your energy going and stuff. And yeah, I've always thought that's what my career was going to be, and I haven't got it yet, and I'm finally getting it. So I'm excited for it to all be back to normal. And I'm also just excited for the whole feel of like a fight week, like a big fight week, and having fans around and hopefully getting to meet some of them and doing like a proper weigh-ins and everything, just getting to do it all the right way. I think that the UFC Apex is done for me, hopefully. So hopefully I put on a really good show, and they keep putting me on these pay-per-view cards.
Definitely. And after your last fight, you said you wanted to come back in March, but this fight is in early February. Why did you decide to come back earlier than planned?
I just can't help myself when they call me. Like I told my manager after the Lara Procopio fight, I was like, okay, well, we need to wait a little while, maybe December or something. And then they called me with like 6 weeks to go for the Antonina fight, and I was like, oh, all right, we'll do that. We'll fight her because she signed before me anyway. So I just felt like she wanted to fight me, and it would be a good idea. And then they tried to call me again about fighting Macy in December, and I finally figured out how to say no. Um, so I just decided once they called about this one, I didn't want to say no twice in a row, and get one in, and then hopefully take a little bit of a break for real this time and fight again, hopefully in Australia if they go back to Australia at the end of the year.
Yeah, that would be nice. When you shred away, the experience and the personality of Roxanne Modafferi, what type of fighter do you see?
She's just tough and gritty. She's that old style of fighter who just gets in there and throws down. I don't see anything like too technical or anything. Obviously, she's known for her jiu-jitsu and stuff, but in terms of fighting wise, I think that her best asset is her just being tough, and I think that is an outdated asset to have. So um, I'm expecting myself to be able to handle her pretty much anywhere that the fight goes. I think that I'm a lot more well-rounded and obviously a lot younger and more agile and everything. So I see this being a really good fight for me to be able to showcase my well-roundedness.
She's gonna make history with this fight, break the record of most fights by a woman in MMA. Do you see yourself fighting like 40 something times or 50 something times in your career? Is that something that's a possibility for you?
I don't know. I want to fight a lot, so we'll see how it goes. If two or three a year for the next 10 years or so, so maybe I'll get close, but I mean, I'm not going to hang around forever. I won't still be in the cage when I'm 40, that's for sure. I just want to have a really good career, have some really good fights, and then obviously know when it's my time and call it there. But I won't be one of those people that, just can't walk away. Like you said, retires and comes back every 3 months. Easier said than done, though. I don't know what I'll be when I get to there, but we'll see.
2021 was your first year in the UFC. You won Rookie of the Year, 3 wins, 3 finishes. Outside of the results of those fights, you know what I mean? What did you learn most, or where did you evolve most in your like skill set or your mentality or anything?
I mean, I evolved a lot in both. I think that my mentality definitely evolved for sure, going up in like talent, like fighting on the regional scene is one thing and knowing I can beat everybody, but then obviously there's that UFC jitters that everyone talks about, like, oh, am I ready for the big stage? And being a female, you definitely get in there a lot earlier than guys. I'd only had 5 fights and hadn't really been tested yet, in my opinion. So just like knowing that I was going to be able to overcome that and fight and win at a high level and just sort of realize who I was. 2021 was a big year of that, like realizing that, I am good and I do deserve to be here, because for a long time everybody said that my dad picked my fights and stuff on Eterno, and now, he has no say and I'm still going in there and winning. So obviously everybody was wrong, and I learned that. And then obviously moving away again, once again, I was like, really didn't want to leave the Hickman brothers, but then moving and finding like a solid group of people here, just realizing that, there's a lot to learn from everyone. So skills definitely developed a lot having those guys in my corner. And yeah, I'm just super excited to continue to grow with them, and then obviously get back over to Thailand too and train with the Hickman brothers as well. Now, like you said, I got a little bit more money, so I'm able to like travel around and pick everyone's brain. And 2022 is going to be a year of that for sure.
Will that chip always be on your shoulder, you think, moving on with your career, of people still doubting you no matter what you accomplish? They'll always find something, because you know how people are. They're going to always try to find something negative about a positive situation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I focus a lot on the negative. So if I see like 5 good comments, I'm like, that's nice. And then I see one negative comment and I'm like really mad at that person. And it's something I'm definitely trying to change. But I have felt that my whole life, as you said, a lot of people doubting me. And even last year when I got, Rookie of the Year, and then I still said it, and my coach is like, everyone just recognized you like for being good. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but not good enough yet. I think that it'll always be a driving force for me to want to be the best. And that's not even in other people's eyes. I want to be the best in my own eyes, and I'm not there yet. I know I still got a lot of growing to do to be the best fighter that I can be. So it's a lot of it is self-reflection as well, just not being where I want to be yet.
Do you do like meditation or mind coaching? Do you do any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I meditate, I do like affirmations and everything, but I just mean like I really want to work really hard. I want to be known as one of the best fighters to ever do it, and I won't stop until I get there. So I think the chip on my shoulder comes from that, just wanting to be the best and wanting to go out there and prove myself against anyone.
Before you got into camp for this fight, was there any time for you to kind of work on something outside of the camp?
Yeah, I mean, I fought in October and this fight's in February. Usually I do about 8 weeks in a camp, so I had quite a little while there where I was just, having fun with training and everything. But as I always say, I'm in the gym 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day, 6 days a week, in and out of camp. So I don't really have a camp per se. I'm always in camp for most people. So I'm always learning, I'm always adapting, I'm always coming up with new ways to, win fights and everything. So nothing changed. I've been basically in camp my whole life.
People will look at this matchup with Roxy and say that her best path to victory will be on the ground, but your strength is clearly in the grappling. Does this open up an opportunity, do you think, for you with your striking to kind of like display that in this fight a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to stand and strike. I've wanted to stand and strike in all of my fights, but it's just so easy on the like when I get them to the ground. And I know that sounds really like cocky or something to say, but honestly, it's true. I would take them down and I would just really feel like nobody was able to move at that point. So the path, the easier path to victory, you walk home with 2 checks at that point, instead of just standing there and throwing down and maybe getting injured. But I definitely want to show my striking because it doesn't suck, that's for sure. And this fight, really want to get my first knockout, so I'll be looking to get that.
Yeah, it seems like you're a fighter that does not want to get a fight of the night. That's not something that's in your mind. Like a lot of fighters will say, I want to fight of the night, but really that means you're taking damage, a lot of damage. Is that fair to say about yourself? It's like that's not something that I'm interested in.
Yeah, like I said, I'm 24. I'm trying to fight for a long time. I'm trying to take as little damage as possible. So if I'm able to just take someone down, beat them up on the ground and get the win there, instead of standing and banging for 15 minutes and ending up with cuts and bruises all over my face, the quicker I can get back into the gym, the more I can learn. So that's definitely going for the performance of the night bonus and not the fight of the night bonus, and just looking for finishes wherever I can get them.
I know you expect to finish, but how do you envision it happening?
I think I'm going to knock her out. I've been saying that this whole camp. I'm not going to say exactly how I'm going to do it because we've been working on that, but I'm pretty confident no matter where this fight goes. I think that I'm stronger on the feet. I think I'm stronger in general. I think I'm stronger in the wrestling, and I think I'm a better grappler when it comes to MMA grappling, and I can do more damage when we get taken down, when I take people down. So I'm just really excited to be able to feel confident no matter where the fight goes.
Have you grappled with anybody that's your size, your weight, that's stronger than you? Do you feel like you're the strongest in the division?
I've definitely grappled with people that are stronger than me. There's been I have a lot of good, strong grappling girls around the gym. So Cynthia Calvillo obviously is at the gym, and she's a very strong person and a very strong grappler as well. And also Raquel Palui, who fights in Invicta. She's a very, very good grappler and a very strong person once again. So having those 2 girls to be able to roll and, test myself against, and then obviously having a bunch of guys that are like under 145 we have at 10th Planet who are also great grapplers. All of them are better than me and beat me up in the daily. So then I go into the fights and I'm able to beat other people up because there's no one better than those guys.
Looking into the future later this year, when you look at the rankings, you're sitting at the bottom of the 15, right? Some veterans are sitting up higher than you, such as Jessica Ai, Joanne Calderwood, Chukagian, Murphy. Do you think that you'll be able to fight any of them later this year?
I hope so. I'm honestly would love to have this fight and then take some time off, as I said, and maybe come back around September or so and have a top 10 matchup and break into the top 10 to end the year. And all those names that you said sound pretty good. Just guys got a tough fight coming up, and I know that that's not going to be an easy one to get past. So I don't want to fight any of them coming off a loss per se, unless it makes sense rankings wise. But just keep fighting better and better. As I said, I'm not trying to get a title shot tomorrow. I'm trying to take my time and fight everybody and take the proper steps. And I got a lot of smart people in my corner telling me what the proper steps are, and whatever they think, I'm down to do.
Does Jessica still train at Extreme Couture, or is she gone?
No, she does. She trains on her own. I think she has her own little thing going, but I never see her in the gym.
All right.
We have her in the gym though, and she just moved down to 125, which kind of sucks a little bit. And because Cynthia just moved to 115, so I was like, nice. We have no 125ers in the gym. It's just me, and then Misha decided to move down. So I was like, damn it. But
yeah, well, she's great to have, right? And a former opponent, a friend, Jada Ketley, she returned to MMA and got a big win, actually a historic win in Lumpini Stadium. It seems like when I talked to her, you influenced her a lot, and you're very young yourself. What is it like influencing people at such a young age?
First off, I'm so proud of Jada, seeing firsthand what she had to go through to get that win. It's not easy. I lost my first 2 ever fights in MMA as well, and I knew how hard it was going to be to come back from that. So just seeing that she was able to come from 0-1 to 1-1 and actually get a finish in her first fight back, that was incredible to see, and she's going to do really big things. I'm sure of it. But in terms of being a mentor to her, that wasn't really a thing that I ever seen myself as. She's one of my best friends, was and still is. So I think that our friendship has a lot to do with that. But then also just being training partners in the gym, and then obviously through COVID being each other's only training partner. You know, we lived together, and I would like push her to come out and run with me or lift weights with me or spar with me, and she would do the same when I didn't feel like it. So just having like a really good friendship there was sort of the basis of that. And then obviously me being able to go out and do well in my career gave her the confidence, because, you know, she did really well with me in training. So yeah, she's going to go really far, and I'm super excited to see what the future holds for Jada, and just hope that COVID figures itself out so that she can get out of Thailand, you know, and be able to show everybody. And I can't wait to get back there and train with her, and all the girls, you know, Loma as well. I miss Loma so much. Got to get her back into the gym, because I know for a fact she's not in there right now. So I look at myself, I know I'm young, but I look at myself as like I'm sort of like big sister to those girls almost. But yeah, I'm kind of missing them right now.
All right, a couple more questions outside of the fight. MMA fans, you know, they can be the best, they can be the worst. They're sometimes crazy. What do fans obsess about too much that fighters really don't care about?
I mean, MMA math, right? So like they'll come say, oh, this person's gonna do this because of this, blah blah blah. I think that they don't really understand the full concept of MMA yet. They think because you beat so and so means that so and so will like beat you or whatever. And obviously the people online being coaches is also pretty crappy. But as you said, there's good ones and there's bad ones. I have a lot of fans in my DMs telling me like what I should be doing and trying to coach me and stuff, and I hate that. Like, I will block you straight away if you try and coach me on something. I block you. I pay good people for that. So I'm not sure what everyone's pet peeve is, but that's mine.
PTSD in combat sports, you know, sometimes people have bad weight cuts, you know, injuries, even damage, sometimes even losses, you know, can affect them in the long run. Have you experienced this in the past yourself, or and overcome it, or have you seen it in other people?
I mean, when I lost those fights as an amateur, that was pretty tough. I took 2 years off between the two losses and my first win, and that was a really dark time. So yeah, it does affect you. You know, you're going in there in front of everyone, and especially at the highest level, you're going in there in front of the world, you know, and putting yourself on the line, and then sometimes you come up short, and that's really hard to deal with. But you know, it's something that helps build character as a person, and I feel like it really has helped me outside of fighting become a better person, like dealing with those losses and dealing with the hard times that come from fighting, because it's not all fun, you know, like you're going into the gym every day and you're getting beat up, or like you're exhausted and everything like that. So I'm fortunate to not have dealt with too much of it so far, but I have seen it in a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people be able to overcome it all and become a lot better people because of it. So I think that it's obviously damaging in a way, but it's also good for people's growth as people. People's growth as people.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Whatever.
All right, one last question. Kevin Lee, someone you know, he's getting paid in crypto by Eagle FC. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency, and would you ever entertain being paid your fight purse in crypto?
Well, to be honest, I need to figure out what crypto is first. I still have no idea what the fuck crypto is, what NFTs is, what none of that is. My management company actually has like a really cool deal, apparently. I say apparently because I have no idea what it is, with like an NFT company. And my manager's been trying to get me onto it for a long time, and I still haven't. I'm young, but I like don't care about that stuff at all. You know, I just think that it's dumb. Like owning an ape online is worth like how much money? I don't know. I think it's crazy, but for now, no. And I just saw Francis did it too, and I just think that it's not like, so if I'm getting paid a certain amount of money and then I put it into crypto and then the market crashes and you lose money, I just don't think it's something I'm willing to entertain right now. But maybe once I learn what it actually is, I'll sound dumb listening back to this.
For sure. February 12th, you're back in action, UFC 271 pay-per-view. Thank you, King Casey, so much for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to speak to you.